Well, hi everybody. This is Cliff from II Crew Speaks Out. This afternoon's broadcast is titled Fallen Prey to Naughty Web Designers. Naughty meaning bogus, meaning almost crooked, but certainly not good at what they do and the way that they operate. These types of characters are very power orientated driven, because there is an elemental or power that they have. Couple that with a web design company that just doesn't care two hoots about what you do and what you don't do. You just want the money. You see, it's a very taboo business, web designing. You can get web designers that think, right, I can make money out of this, lots of money out of this, and because they are able, up until now, because they are able to create this smoke screen around the work that they do, they believe that they can just walk away scot-free. And until the British courts decide to come down hard on these characters, we are going to breed a whole festering bunch of crooked web designers. If a builder comes in and builds you a duff extension, then you don't pay them, do you? Well, you shouldn't be paying them. If this happens with these web designers, they can just take down the website. The other thing that I would not recommend doing is, if somebody, company, does your website design, build your website for you, do not give them the keys to your server. Absolutely do not. Because if they're not good, then that is a recipe for disaster. I'll tell you what happened over the weekend, because we're friends now, and I know that there's a lot of you that regularly listen to these broadcasts. I'm not going to mention names, because I know how this character operates. But I can very loosely explain what happened. About a month or so ago now, I transferred my server onto this company's. I entered into a contract which was for 12 months. Now, bearing in mind, the other people that I had my hosting with weren't doing anything wrong. I won't tell you who they were, but they weren't doing anything wrong, and I was actually quite settled with them. But I got suckered into going with these other mob who in fact were using defamatory comments about the other company I was with, making claims that they were CRAP. You know, I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. So, I thought, okay, let's go ahead with this contract. It's all gone pear-shaped, basically, because there was problems with the server on Friday afternoon. The company claimed to have an emergency telephone line for if and when their server fouls up. So I rang him and I said, the server is down. I need to send emails and I can't. He went click, click, click with all the buttons and everything and said it should be alright now, which it was. Briefly, literally briefly for about 30 minutes. And then exactly the same thing happened. And it has remained like this in that condition. So let's be a little bit sensible. You tell me. Apart from engaging in this company and transferring my web hosting over, which is a big M on my forehead, you know what that stands for? Not mastermind, mug. Was that my fault? Or was that the fault of the web design company? Then they started to say we didn't enter into a 12-month contract. But you see, there is still within business verbal contracts. Why would I enter into a 2-month contract? It just doesn't make sense. These are the things that we have to be so careful with when choosing a web design company. My advice to you would be choose very carefully. Ask for references. Contact those references. Ask around. You may well be recommended to a company. Referral marketing is the most powerful form of marketing that you can get. So, if you're in the throes of looking for a web design company, be very careful with freelance web design companies. Very careful. Very, very, very careful. Be on your toes. Ask all the questions about references. And I hope that this broadcast has been helpful to those of you that are considering this. The good news is the naughty web designers will get found out, and hopefully they will go out of business and have to try and find something else. Okay, so if you've got any questions, contact me. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that on the current email, theboss@iicrew.com, because the server is down. But in the next 48 to 72 hours, that will not be the case, and it will be rectified. So I hope to hear from you, and I hope that this has enlightened you to take care. This Cliff from iicrew speaks out. Bye.